Welcome back to another episode of the Be Who You Came to Be podcast. I'm your host, Renze. I'm flying solo on the show today to give you a little mental boost, a little pep talk. This pep talk, honestly, is just as much for me as it is you, and that is to persevere and to keep going. I don't know where you're at, where you're listening from, where you're watching from, but I am in the heart of the United States, right here in Overland Park, Kansas, which is a suburb of Kansas City. And we have had quite the winter. And tomorrow we are expected to have more snow. This winter has been cold. It's been dark. It's been gloomy. And in total transparency, it's starting to take a toll on me. You know, a few years ago, I realized that I really do suffer from seasonal affective disorder, which means that the weather, the seasons can truly impact how we feel, how our bodies feel, how our mental fortitude and energy is. And I got to tell you, it's tough. Like I am on the struggle bus. I actually thought the other day, this is why bears hibernate, because they just like to go to sleep for winter and wake up when the trees and flowers are blooming and it's warm enough to just be outside. One of the things that I love to do is to go on walks. I love to walk my dogs and be outside. And it is just so bitterly cold that I cannot bring myself to bundle up and get outside and do it. We've had a couple nice days where we've been able to get out, but for the most part, we've been locked up indoors, and knock on wood, my family has not gotten this horrible illness that is going around. But we are definitely ready for spring and ready to get through February. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because I have talked to so many people who are in the same boat as me. You know, we start off the new year with all of these high aspirations of new year, new you, big goals, big aspirations. And then January often seems like it's 365 days just for the month of January, which goes into February and starts going at slow motion. You know, my birthday's in February, so you'd think that I would be so excited to have a birthday and look forward to it. And honestly, last night I was like, I don't even know. It's so cold. Do we even want to go out for dinner? But why am I sharing all this with you? One, I want you to know if you're feeling down, if you're feeling low, if you're like, I had such higher hopes for this year and it's just not going where it's going, don't give up. This is where perseverance, grit, and tenacity are essential. This is also where your mental fitness and fortitude really comes into play in your overall success and how you show up. You know, I am reminding myself every day, every morning when I get up, Tara, you are not your thoughts. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel blue and to kind of wish that you had more pep in your step. But you are not your negative thoughts, and you're going to get to choose how you show up. What's super important during this time is that you show up, that you get up, that you get yourself dressed. If you can get to an exercise, walking on the treadmill, going to the gym, doing something, do it. Do it. It honestly 100% changes how you'll show up for the rest of the day if you can get out and move your body first thing in the morning. I don't know about you, but when it's this cold and we're in the winter months like this, working out in the evening is incredibly challenging for me. I'm usually done. I want to put my sweats on and snuggle up with some hot tea and watch a little bit of TV. But if you can get up in the morning and move your body, it truly changes everything. If you're like, I don't have access to a gym, I don't know what I'm doing, send me a DM and I will hook you up with some great online training that will change your life. So for me, it's about consistency with my workouts, number one. Two, getting a good night's sleep also plays a huge role in how I feel overall. And this for me means no drinking during the week and really limiting your drinking, because you don't always sleep great. If you're anything like me, I wake up in the middle of the night, then my mind starts to soar, and then by the time it's time to get up, I didn't sleep well, so I'm tired, which only exacerbates this winter blues that I have. Now, obviously, if you could take a nice little sunny vacation, do it. In fact, the last 2 years, we've actually gone away for my birthday. We've taken a little trip somewhere sunny and warm for only like 3 or 4 days, and it made all the difference in the world. And we didn't do it this year for a lot of reasons with kids' schedules and my work schedule and all that. But I told my husband, I was like, look, next year we need to make sure that we plan that because it gave me something to look forward to. And then by the time we got home, I knew that there was just enough of a reset to where spring break was around the corner and we were going to make it. But right now, mental fitness, giving yourself grace, understanding that you're not your thoughts, and that most of all, you just have to keep persevering and you have to keep showing up is really what it's all about. You know, we're only like 40 days into the new year. So this is the other thing. If you're not seeing results with your New Year's resolution, which I know so many of us have the results, get in better shape, take off some of the holiday pounds, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You know, I'm in the same boat. I'm trying to do the same things. And it's frustrating, right? I mean, you're like, I ate good for 1 week. Why don't my pants fit better? Why am I not looking better naked? Like all the things. But then I'm like, oh, I've only been doing this for a couple weeks. I have to keep going. And you know what? You keep going and then suddenly you start to see results. And then you keep going a little bit more and you see even more results. There's no such thing as an overnight success story. And New Year's resolution and change doesn't usually happen in 40 days. You're going to have to keep going. You're going to have to keep persevering and you're going to have to keep showing up. So don't throw in the towel. Now is not the time to throw in the towel and say, fuck it. I'm just going to go back to my old ways. I'm cold. I'm tired. I'm over winter. No, you're worth so much more than that. And here's the thing. If I can do it, you can do it too. If I can persevere and keep showing up and every day tell myself, get up, get out of bed, make it a great day, and control your thoughts. More than anything, control your thoughts. I know I've told you guys this before, but 80% of your daily thoughts are negative, they're biased, and they're untrue. It's your mind sabotaging you out of everything great in the world. Now, I am not preaching toxic positivity and pushing away our feelings and not being in touch with what's going on in our heart. That's not what this is about. But it is being able to understand what's true and what you're making up. So for me, every day right now, I'm getting up, I'm going to say, the sun's not shining. Nope, it's not shining today. It's cold outside. You're not going to feel like going on a walk. That's okay. What I can control is that I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful to be able to go get a workout in inside, to eat healthy, and to remember that the goals I set for myself this year are worth it. You know, and that I'm worth it. And I see this happen. If you haven't taken the saboteur assessment, the positive intelligence saboteur assessment, if you go to my website, tararenze.com/sign up, you can get a free assessment that's going to uncover your self-sabotaging beliefs. So what I see with my self-sabotaging beliefs is at the first of the year, they get really ignited because one of my biggest saboteurs is the hyperachiever, which is that success should be happening faster. Keep moving. You're not doing enough. You're not winning enough. You should have more bookings, more things on the calendar, more. You should be seeing faster results, better results. And this hyperachiever, although has been the one that's pushed me to the levels of success in my life, that's pushed me to keep working and to go all in, sometimes it sabotages me to where I get into a mental tailspin of thinking, I'm not good enough. What am I doing? What am I thinking? I get down, I get frustrated. And then what happens? Usually the hyperachiever is pushing me for work goals, but it's also pushing me towards my own goals of health and wellness. And then I'm not seeing results. And then I start getting down on myself. And then all that starts to trickle into my interpersonal relationships, you know, where maybe I take a bad day out on my husband, or maybe I'm a little shorter with my kids than I want to be. And so when we can control this and when we can recognize like, hey, this is not me, this is my saboteur showing up. And hyperachiever, I'm so glad that you're here because you do push me to new heights of success, but I also need you to be patient. I also need you to know that success is not an overnight story and that we have to persevere and that we have to have the grit and resilience needed to be who we came to be. So if you're listening today and you're thinking, I want to throw in the towel, I'm so tired, I'm over winter, I'm over it, just remind yourself that we're already 40 days into the new year. And guess what? Sunshine, spring, warm weather is ahead. There'll be a time, you know, in the next 5 months where you'll be sweating your ass off in the summer being like, oh, I really wish it was colder out. And then you're going to go back to that day in February where you were like, man, I wish it was warmer. It's all about honoring where we're at today and making the most and the best out of whatever situation that we're in. So if you are struggling, just know you're not alone. I've been struggling too. I've been having those winter blues and down on myself about a few different things, but I keep shining my light. I keep going through the motions. I keep showing up. I keep doing the work. I keep putting in the time. And most of all, I never stop believing in myself and my message, and never stop believing in all of you for a reason. It's why I'm recording this podcast. It's why I'm sharing this message with you, is because I know I'm not alone. And I know if I keep showing up for you, you'll keep showing up for the people that matter to you, that matter the most to you. So 2025, we're just getting started. Everything that you do in these first 3 months of the year, you might not see results until summer, until fall, maybe towards the end, or maybe it'll take these seeds that you've planted in June and January and February. They might not show up until next year or until 2 or 3 years from now, but you just have to keep going and you have to keep the work in, and you have to give yourself the grace to say, I'm enough. It's not warm out. I'm tired of winter, but I'm going to keep going because I believe in myself and who I came to be. Thank you so much for tuning in to the solo podcast. These are going to be shorter, snappier, and they're going to usually tee up something that we're going to be talking about in the next episode. So next week, I am so excited to have Joel Goldberg, who, if you live in Kansas City, you know that he is one of the voices of the Royals. And he knows the game of baseball better than anyone else. And what is the game of baseball? It is the game of failure. It requires the ultimate grit, tenacity, and resilience. So I'm going to be digging in with him next week to talk more about what it takes to win, how to stay resilient when things aren't going our way, how to stay tenacious when things get tough, and when we're in the face of adversity, how do we keep going? So you're going to want to tune in for that. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to the show, give us a review. We'd love to hear from you. And we have got so many exciting episodes and guests coming up in the next several weeks you're not going to want to miss. So keep shining. Thank you for tuning in. Live unapologetically authentic to exactly who it is you are and who you came to be. I'm Tara Renze, your host, and I'll see you next week.